because I have a booming voice. Let me know if you can hear me well enough without the mic. How's this? Can you hear me enough, or do I need the mic?
Good.
I still need the mic. Well, I was hoping not to need the mic, but you know, that's such as life. Well, William, Don, June, and assembled friends. It is indeed a great honor to be here this afternoon on this auspicious occasion that we honor our beloved teacher, Donald Platt. I am particularly honored as one of Donald's torchbearers dedicated to history and storytelling to share thoughts with you this afternoon. It is a personal story that I will be sharing, one that I've given a little bit of thought to, and one that I thought perhaps might be engaging in a different way. Because as we look at the stories of young people through the generations, especially young people of color coming out of difficult situations, coming out of, let's say, in the historical classic ways of the 60s, of out of the inner city, or out of the barrios, that teachers make a difference. So in honoring Donald Platt, I raise up an iconic saying of great relevance. It takes a village to raise a child. This iconic saying rings true in my own remembrance and understanding of my journey in life before and during my years at Fairfax High School, 1970 to 73. Through the lens of others at the 40th anniversary class of 1973 reunion, in 2013 I had been able to reflect upon and re-journey through those early years. Years filled with accomplishment, but also years filled with challenges hidden and not so good. That is to say, for me, the 15-year-old William Doggett, who arrived in Don Platt's history class from John Burroughs Junior High School, already steeped in history, through the lens of my family's deep involvement in the early years of the Los Angeles Civil Rights Movement, and through the lens of history, reimagined in 3-strip Technicolor to 3D Cinerama and Panavision, Mr. Platt's history class was and became a ready-made stage to explore the stories of history, old and recent stories embodying a canon of history which had already impacted my understanding of the world around me as a young African-American male. It takes a village to raise a child, and so it would come to pass that Donald Platt, like so many high school teachers ushering into his history classes, teenagers interested and disinterested, would not realize that his history class would become one of those iconic moments of uplift that would last a lifetime for the young William Doggett, a quiet, intense, knowledgeable, yet deeply troubled teenager from a broken home. It is for many of us an important memory, the memory of personal uplift against a backdrop of challenge, a backdrop of adversity, that one special teacher, that one special person, such as Donald Platt, who took an interest that said, yes, you can, I believe in you, and let me help you. I remember Donald Platt in this way. In particular, I remember how challenged I was at exam time to put into simple words within a set period of time my understanding of simple history lessons. For me, it was a writing problem impacted by my inability to write quickly because of my natural gift of writing, or natural gift for writing, had been affected by earlier years exposed to the creative and oratory sermon writing of my father, a minister with a passionate oratorial presentation. My vision for writing was a mix of creative prose and colorful oratory to be spoken rather than to be written in simple transactional facts. My challenge also at that time was that I was reading and admiring, perhaps through Donald Platt, the thickly written philosophical prose of Immanuel Kant, Hegel, and later W.E. Du Bois. Donald helped me get through this writing block by allowing me to make up exams in simple written text. He didn't have to do that, but he did. But why did he do that? I believe he saw in me the knowledge and the ability that simply needed to be honed differently. I believe he saw in me a smart youth who knew the answers but had other issues impacting my abilities to perform at test time. Clearly, he could have given me a C, a C minus, or a D on exams, or passed me off as some flunky, etc. However, I believe that Donald Platt knew something deeper, something I was too young to understand about the human condition and about the character of students and their potential. Today, of course, only Donald Platt can provide definitive historical insight, but I'm proudly a testament to his embrace, to his intervention, to his belief in the idea that yes, I could achieve that which I felt no second chance to achieve. In contrast, however, some might say all of this extra effort was simply done to assist a passing grade in the class. I would say to that, in retrospect and in larger architecture, that this mentoring experience had a much larger and longer term impact on how I would approach other life challenges. I am forever grateful, Donald, that you made the decision to invest time in me and my future. I am also grateful, Donald, for your interaction with me as a benevolent older male. What do I mean by that? Many of you here today do not know, or could not know, that I entered Fairfax deeply scarred by the loss of my father at age 9.5 to 10, and the dissolution of my family unit and engaged community life as the youngest son of a renowned minister and civic leader in Los Angeles by the age of 11. My father, the late Reverend John N. Doggett Jr., well-known 1950s-60s LA civil rights leader and Methodist minister, took the call in the late spring of 1964 to a new church assignment in St. Louis. I was 9.5. That assignment was the final straw for my mother and my parents' historically challenged relationship. My father left, but I, my mother, and my siblings did not follow. This event created for me a dire personal vacuum compounded by the additional move of both my oldest brother and sister from the house by the time I was 12, 13. With my parents' divorce finalized when I was 11, I took all of this personally as a document of personal rejection. Some of you may have had peers who came from challenged homes, but may not have had the experience that I also did between age 11 to 14. Remember, I'm arriving at Fairfax at age 15. So between ages 11 and 14, being the target of divorce-infused, profusive anger of a well-meaning mother, a dedicated elementary school's reading specialist who desperately needed counseling, but also was too proud to ask for it. Her steely fortitude and high standard of perfection for herself and for me made it impossible for me to fail or to be a normal teenager. Very different, yet very much the same shades of the Oscar-winning movie Moonlight. And yet, I still, or I should say, and still I rise, to quote Maya Angelou, the implosion of the life I had known had a searing impact upon my entire experience at Fairfax. In a different way of saying this, I was one of those quote-unquote at-risk teenagers who, in a perfect storm, might not be standing here today to share my story. It takes a village to raise a child, and so it would come to pass that my history classes with Donald Platt, my early demonstration of foreign language and leadership skills as German club president at age 17 with German language teacher Janet Spellman, my engagement in orchestra with Mr. Brodsky as a co-principal cellist, and my dance improv creative workshops with Janet Fitch and others would provide a foundation of hope for a young black teenager who was different from the others. I was never, quote, popular. I was not part of the Fairfax sports cliques. I was not a hippie or a doper, but rather a smart kid seeking hope, seeking a diversion from personal pain by finding village elders and village peers who, quote unquote, got me, nurtured me, and helped me make it through. I am eternally grateful for my village elders and village peers at Fairfax. Thank you, Donald Platt, for your prominent role as a village elder in my life at that time. Thank you. And I have a couple of gifts for Donald. We've been friends on Facebook. It's already been announced, but I should just share briefly that I've been engaged over the past couple of years with the Recorded Sound and Motion Picture Division of the Library of Congress as a consultant. And I have a particular view of things, but I have some special history things in my archive that I wanted to share today on a special occasion for Donald. I will just I'll give them to him, but I will share with all of you so you can see. So I'm an archivist. I specialize in all kinds of history. I recently was in San Francisco showcasing a whole series of historical newspapers dealing with World War II, but focused in on the issue of Executive Order 9066, which was the order from February of 1942 that FDR proclaimed as a response to Pearl Harbor that all Japanese Americans on the West Coast were to leave and abandon their homes and businesses and to go to certain pickup stations for relocation, Commandant and others. So this particular showcase of newspapers, which is part of my archive, I have some extras of that I wanted to give to Donald Platt, and I'm just going to show one of them. There are three of them in here. The front pages, this one is from 1945. It's the afternoon paper that Donald was so very good to my attention. It's the San Francisco, I'm sorry, what's the date? 1945. It's San Francisco, Tuesday, July 31st, 1945, the San Francisco News. And then there's another thing in here that is really kind of special. It's a small little thing. You know how small things that are in small packages can also be pretty significant. And I just want to show this. I'm going to tell you what it is briefly. I'll give these to Donald later in the presentation. This is the Almanac for 39ers of San Francisco. What is it? What is the Almanac for 39ers? It's compiled by the workers of the Federal Writers Project of the Works Progress Administration in the City of San Francisco with illustrations by the WPA Federal Art Project in the City of San Francisco, sponsored by the Bret Harte Association of California, and it's published by James Ladd Dalton in the year of 1938. I know you were in high school then. I think this will be for high school?
No, I was 7 years old.
7 years old. Okay, I took it back. But I know that you would appreciate reading this, since I'm obviously not beyond your age. But I thought of you when I saw this and I had this, and I said, I would like to share this because of the fact that you're from San Francisco, that this is an almanac looking at the year 1939, published by Federal Writers Project. I thought this would be an interesting little gift and something that I hope you will appreciate both of them. Thank you very much.